You know what my witty comeback to that is? Okay. This is the introduction to my book, which will be coming out in a very long time from now. This morning, my cat jogged me out of a daydream about being a professional tennis player by licking my nostrils. And I was brought back to the reality that I had yet to generate a single word of text. This was a problem. How to write a book. I washed the smell of turkey and giblets cat food out of my nose and started to strategize. Engineering backwards from April, I calculated that if I wrote 5 pages a day, which seemed very doable, I would have an 1,800-page first draft when the deadline rolled around. Though completely unwritten, I was very impressed by how long my first draft would be. Still, I'd never written anything longer than 100 pages, and here I was embarking on an 1,800-page journey. I was curious to know what 1,800 pages actually looked like, so I went to a nearby Staples office supplies store and purchased 4 reams of paper. When I got home, I unwrapped all the paper and combined it into one stack. Each ream contained 400 sheets of paper. Using a pencil and a pad, I calculated that 4 times 400 was 1,600 pages. I was 200 pages short. Upon realizing that I hadn't bought enough paper, I went back to Staples. I went to the paper section, I opened a ream, and commenced to count out the 200 additional pieces of paper I needed for my stack. At this juncture, a man wearing a Staples apron begins to yell at me. "Hey, stop that!" He tells me that I had to purchase the entire ream. "But I don't need an entire ream," I insisted. "I only need half a ream." He relented, threatened to call the cops, and so I purchased the entire ream. Back home, I counted out 200 sheets of paper and added it to my stack of 1,600 sheets. At last, I had reached my goal of assembling a stack of 1,800 pieces of paper to see how large my first draft would be once I had written it. Just to be sure that the stack was in fact 1,800 pages, I counted each page individually. That took almost a day. Turns out it was 1,800 pages on the nose. Now you know that when you buy a ream of paper from Staples that says it has 1,400 sheets of paper in it, you can believe it. I removed 1 sheet from this stack and placed it in my printer. I turned on my computer, opened a blank document, and wrote the words, "Untitled Michael Showalter Novella." I didn't know what a novella was, or how it differed from a proper novel, but I'd always liked the sound of it. I had since learned that a novella is either a long story or a short novel. Based on this, given the length of my book to be, I needed to change the title to Untitled Michael Showalter Novel.